Like Kayla said, my name's Jamie. It's nice to meet you all. Um, yeah, I've been part of Salt and Sage Web Studio now for about 6 months. Just to give you guys a little bit of background about me, um, I started my career off in corporate marketing. So I worked for Waterpik and then Church and Dwight, which are consumer product companies. And I did that for about 6 years. And then I just decided to make a switch and move to small business marketing just to learn more and to kind of apply some of what I knew in the corporate world to small business. So, and also just learn so much and help small businesses launch and grow. So, if you guys haven't heard of us before, that's what we kind of do. We help small businesses get set up with websites and marketing stuff. So, we have quite a few clients we help with social media, and so I'm really excited to share this information with you guys today. Just kind of the tip of the iceberg, but as we go, feel free to throw your questions in the chat box, and Kayla and I will do our best to bring them up as we go, because I'd love to just make sure all your questions get answered about social media today. So first of all, we will start. Here's the questions that we'll answer today. So what role does social media play in marketing? What accounts should I use? What should I post? How often should I post? How do I write captions? Can I schedule posts? Some tips and tricks from me, apps that can help you manage this stuff, and how does social media work with email and blogs? And last but not least, sometimes you learn all this stuff and you realize you just don't want to do it. So what to do when you don't want to do it? So just to start out, big picture marketing, we always kind of say that marketing is like dating, and the sales funnel of like getting customers is kind of like dating. So it's just kind of a funny analogy, but if you think about it, you first start with awareness. So you have to make sure people are aware of your business. And I'm not going to go into depth on each of these, but just as a general overview. So kind of like dating, this would be just like how do you meet new people, whether it's online or at church or in groups or in restaurants or whatever. Same with your business. You just have to get the word out there. How do you generate traffic? Usually this means for your business advertising, or PR or events or local news. And then after they become aware of you, you have to capture them. So you have to get them in your network. And usually this is like a lead generator, like an email opt-in or a Facebook opt-in, or sometimes social media, but most of the time this is an email opt-in. So you want to capture their information. So with the dating analogy, this would be like, you got to get their number. And the third step is nurture. So once you have their number, you want to start to build that relationship and get to know them. So nurture is just giving them more information about you. So in the business world, once you have their email, it's sending them emails, letting them know more about your business. It's posting on social media. And this is where the social media comes in, because social media is part of that nurture conversation. And we'll talk about that more in just a second. And the last step is to convert. So this is where your website comes in. You ask for the sale and turn them into a customer. So like I said, social media is part of the nurture, part of the conversation. So the purpose of social media is to build the relationship with people that you've already connected with. Because in social media, you're building that relationship with followers that have already become aware of you, already chosen to follow you. So it's that third step in the process. So as part of social media, the whole goal of social media is to feed people bite-sized pieces of information about you and your business, so they can know you, like you, trust you, buy you. So there's a lot of parts of helping people get to know you, helping people like you, helping them trust you, and that's what we'll talk about with social media today. What you can post, how you post it, and how you develop that relationship with them. But that really is what social media is about. It's, if you think about all the people you might follow on social media, it's people you already know, but you're getting to know a little bit more about every day. So where do you start? Before even creating your accounts, if you don't have any accounts or anything like that yet, before even creating your accounts, you'll want to get assets. And by assets, we mean photography. It's one of the best things that you can spend money on in a brand new business or if you've already been going for a while, we always tell our clients, get assets before you spend any money on advertising. You know, a photography shoot might cost $200 to $500 and an ad in a magazine costs $1,000, but photography you can use over and over again on your website, on your social media, on your emails. And so I would say that is the first step because people want to see your face. And so if your business is a personal consulting business or even just as the business owner, make sure you get good headshots of yourself, make sure you get custom photos of your product or service. And then if you have the budget, I would consider video as well because it is the most consumed content on the internet. It's easy for people to connect with. You can cut it and slice it in a bunch of different ways and reuse it over and over again. So I would say that step one is kind of building a library of photos that you have of your products, of your services, of yourself, of your team, of your building, of success stories, just kind of gathering all those things and putting them in one place, whether that's a Google Photo Drive or pulling them into your website media library, but just getting everything that you have for your business in one place is key because that will really help as you start to plan your social media. The next step, you're probably asking, which accounts do I need to have? It's a little bit overwhelming to think about all the different social media accounts these days with LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest. So when you ask yourself, which accounts do I need to be doing? I think just think about your business and think about yourself. If you're going to be the one running your social media, the first thing you want to do is be realistic. If you're not a big social media person, I would choose 1 or 2 channels and just really focus on those channels. You'll be more successful if you have quality content on 1 or 2 channels than spreading yourself thin across 5 channels. And then a good rule of thumb for Facebook and Instagram is think about your target market. So the people that you're selling your products or services to, are they over 35 or under 35? If the majority of your clients, so like 60 to 80% of them are over 35, I would really focus on Facebook. If the majority of them are under 35, I would focus on Instagram. Facebook does own Instagram, so it's really easy to post to both, but it's just kind of a good reminder that, hey, if most of my clients are over 35, if you're going to spend money promoting a post, promote it on Facebook. If you're going to do a big promotion or event, make sure you're promoting it on Facebook and creating an event for it on Facebook. So that's just a good reminder. And then also just make sure that your Facebook is set up as a business page and not a personal page. That helps in a ton of ways, but getting your Facebook set up as a business page helps Google recognize it as a business. It allows you to get reviews. It allows you to post different kinds of things versus a personal account. So that would be another step for you if you haven't done that yet. And that should link to your Instagram as well. So you can link your Facebook and Instagram. And then if you are selling a product or service, or I'll go into more tips and tricks about Pinterest, but Pinterest is really a selling tool. So if you're selling a product or service in a certain realm, you'll want to use Pinterest if you have the time. But again, I would start with Facebook. And then LinkedIn is really a relational networking social media platform. So it's really key for businesses that are based on networking. So that's a lot of times in the financial industry, in the more corporate related world. And then when you set up those accounts, the key things you'll want to do is get those photos from your photo library and make sure you have a good photo on your website. Make sure you have your logo. You'll want to write a bio for each, for Instagram and Facebook, and it can be the same bio. Just make sure in your key information for your bio for Instagram that you're having your website in there, and that you have in Facebook, it's also connected to your website. And then the last thing is once you set up your Facebook business page, ask your clients that you've already been working with or your customers to write you a review on Facebook. It's super easy. Even shooting them a text or an email and saying, hey, would love it so much if you'd leave me a quick review. It helps hugely with search terms if people are searching for your business, the more reviews and the better presence you have on Facebook will help Google rank you higher. So that's just some good tips for just account setup right there, just the basic stuff. Make sure you're getting your photos and bios and website and reviews. I'm going to do a quick pause right there. Does anyone have any questions about which accounts should you do in your account setup? You can put it in the chat box, or you could unmute yourself and ask. No? Okay. I'll keep going. So the next thing is, what should I post? I think this is really where people get caught up because it's kind of overwhelming. I mean, in your personal life, you probably don't post as much as you would need to for your business. And so the best place to start, step one, is building a content bank. So brainstorm, I mean, maybe sit down with one of your colleagues or one of your friends or your spouse that knows your business really well and brainstorm in categories of 10 to 12 things you already talk about in your business in real life. So think about personal updates. Like, people love to see stuff about you. Like, business has become a personal thing, especially small business. And people really invest themselves in small businesses when they know about the people that run them. So make a category of personal updates and maybe put a couple bullet points under that update, under that personal updates of, like, you know, I went camping this weekend, or this is my favorite meal that I like to eat if you're a nutritionist. If you're selling a product or service, maybe talk about how you got here and why you decided to do this and what the journey has been like. So just stuff like that that's personal and real. And then maybe make a category about your team. So again, this is just, you can have a couple bullet points under this category about, you know, a little bio for each person on your team. Tips, and like, remember what I said at the beginning, this is bite-sized pieces of information. So really you have one subject for each post and you shouldn't talk about more than one subject. So that's why these are categories, because you'll have 5 to 6 things under each category here. So helpful tips, maybe that's related to how to use your product or service, or tips on carrying through with it, tips on the types of people that might buy them and what you would want to do once you have it. If you are in any type of health industry, recipes are huge and people love recipes, so those usually do really well on social media. Testimonials, so gathering those reviews. You can even pull them off the, you know, Google or Facebook if you already have them, and just highlight them on your social media. We'll talk a little bit about how to post those in a little bit. Product recommendations, events that you have. A huge one is FAQ, like frequently asked questions. So if you have a business and every time someone contacts you, they're asking the same questions, start to keep track in your head, like, what are those questions that people are asking? Because this is a whole nother topic on SEO, which we could do a workshop in the future, but you want to connect with people on what they're searching for, and usually they're asking a question when they're searching. So just anticipating what those questions might be and posting about them. So just create a list of the top questions people ask you, and that's awesome content. It will really help your social media and your website. Problems and pain points. So if there's problems and pain points that a lot of your clients have, just making a list of those things. And then how-tos and tips. Again, super popular, how to use, how to do this, how to make this meal, how to create a budget, how to plan a vacation, anything like that that's related to your business. Okay, so this is an example of a content bank. This is an example of our content bank, actually, for Salt and Sage. So you can see here we have introduced the team, recent work and websites that we've done, template websites, copywriting, photography. This could be our favorite photographers, the importance of photography, why we love clients when they bring the photography to us. Video, branding statements, how-to and tips, our favorite collaborators, some team updates. We can talk about SEO. Just a side tip, I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but planning tools that we use are monday.com, and that's what this is right here. It's a project management board, and it's really awesome for social media planning because you can, do your categories, and then you can create another category that maybe it says July social media posts, and you can assign the date and assign it to a person and assign a status. So it's just, and then you can click and write the caption and upload the photo. So it just helps organize all of your content. So this is what we use, and I would recommend something like that. If not, to organize all your stuff, you could put it in a Word document or an Excel sheet, or a Google Doc if you have a lot of people accessing it at once. Okay, so the next step would be to make a plan. Create this content schedule. So you go, basically the process for us, how we work is, you shouldn't have to get on and make and have this social media hanging over you of something you need to do every day. We recommend sitting down once a month and making a plan. So use your content bank, sit down once a month and look at your content bank and drag and drop, depending on what you're using, 2 to 3 posts per week from different categories. So, maybe on Monday you'll plan on, I'm going to do a team update for Monday, and I'm going to post the bio of this person. And then on Wednesday, you're going to do a how-to or a tip. And then on Friday, you're going to do an event that's coming up and promote that event. So I would just plan, like we generally do 4 weeks in advance, and just get them all planned out, and we write all the captions, and upload all the photos so that when those days come up, it's already ready to go, and you just go ahead and post it, and you don't have to think about it. So that's what I would recommend, and that's where the categories are super helpful, because it just is already a list of pre-brainstormed ideas. And like we said earlier, do a mix of personal and business updates. People really like to get to know you, and then you can pull those assets from your media library of photography, and the videos are awesome because you can reach people and reuse them a ton on social media. So that's just kind of how to build your content schedule. Plan it all out at once versus just doing it one at a time, because then you can really get a good idea, making sure you're posting a variety of content, and it just is not going to be as hard, because it is overwhelming to every other day to think of a new post and think of a new caption and find a picture. So if you already have these libraries built out, it's so much easier.
Hey Jamie, quick question. So
Yeah.
when you have all of your different categories, do you need to create a post on every category that you have each week, or just pull a few from the list that you have and create posts on those?
Yeah, I would just pull a couple. So I would just choose 2 to 3 categories. You could even do 2 things from the same category every week. The purpose of the categories are really just to give you a bank to pull from. But yeah, I would recommend posting 2 to 3 times per week, so you're really only going to be able to pull from 2 to 3 categories. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So yeah, and then just remember that just people want to know you, like you, trust you, and then if they do all of those things, they'll buy you. They'll buy your service or your product. So we'll talk about that next, about creating your posts. So once you're pulling your posts, you say you chose to do, this is a tip. We actually just did this post last week for Father's Day. So first of all, think about, you want to be 80% visual and 20% words. So as you know, if you have an Instagram or a Facebook account, it's all about the visuals these days. There's so much content on there. You want to make sure you have really captivating visuals. And if it's too many words, people probably aren't going to read it. So this is just kind of a good example here. We do the picture of the steak. The words are the best steak marinade in existence, and then we have like a little subheader. I think one thing, and then you can do your caption here. So you can just see this is kind of falls in that tips and tricks category that we pulled from. In terms of creating your post for copywriting, again, this could be a whole nother post or a whole nother training, but I'll just touch on it a little bit. Is when you're copywriting, especially for small business, it's very personal. Like people, like I said, they want to know you. So talk to them like you would talk to a friend. Say I and say you, don't say we and they. You want to talk to them like if somebody's asking you a question, really answer it in candid language and be aware of the curse of knowledge we talk about with our clients. If you have a technical or complicated service or consulting, especially just because you are an expert in your field, make sure that you're talking to people in normal words and normal terms. And so think about that. Kind of goes back to the ask questions. Think about what people want to know versus what you want to tell them. So if someone is asking, so we have a lot of nutritionists, so I always have nutritionist examples in my head, but if someone is asking, starts searching, how to fix constant headaches or something, that's kind of the way you want to talk to them, but you don't want to say, like diagnosing migraines. You want to really talk in the more layman's terms. And then make sure you show your personality. People want to see if you're funny, you can be funny in your posts. If you're serious, you can be serious. If you're like to make jokes, like anything, just try to be yourself and try to use normal language and make sure you're talking from person to person. If you think about social media, people are probably scrolling by themselves in their bed late at night or during the day when they're bored. So they're generally always by themselves when they're looking at social media. So, just talk one person to one person there. So, and if you're a group of people, you can say we, but just, talking to one person. So yeah, those are the tips on creating your posts. We'll keep going here if anyone has any questions yet.
Nope, I don't have any in the chat right now.
Okay. So one tip, as you plan all your posts, you can schedule them. So this is kind of awesome if you are like, I just want to sit down one time and schedule all my posts for the next week so I don't have to think about it. Facebook actually has a built-in scheduler. So if you're going to focus on Facebook, this is awesome because you can just log in and basically it's the same thing where you can drag and drop your photos, write your captions, and then drag it to a certain day and time, and it will post it for you automatically. So you can like plan up to 5 posts at once, and Facebook will post them when you schedule them to be posted. So that saves you a ton of time. You don't have to worry about it. So I'd highly recommend doing that. Instagram doesn't have a schedule, so what some of our clients do is they schedule all their Facebook posts and then they just, have the reminder to post the Instagram one when the time comes. There are apps that you can use to integrate all your social media platforms and schedule all of them and post them at once. If you're going to integrate multiple platforms and use the schedule, most of the time it costs like $20 or $30 a month. If social media is really important for your business and you want to be on a lot of platforms, I would recommend spending the money on that. Just to stay consistent, to make it easier for yourself and reduce the time you're spending on it. The ones that I've researched, there's a ton of them out there if you look up social media post scheduler. The ones that I've found that I like are Hootsuite and Later. Hootsuite seems to have the best free platform you could try. And then Later has a really good low cost scheduler that you could try as well. So what I would say is, people often ask us, how often should I post? I would say 2 to 3 times per week if you can, but realistic, do what's realistic for you. So if it's realistic for you to just post every Wednesday, just post every Wednesday, and that's fine. Again, it's kind of just building that relationship and reminding people about your business, why you're there, and just giving them those bite-sized pieces of information. And the consistency is key. So, I think the best thing you could do is just make sure you have a schedule and do it and execute it. If you just randomly post every month, people are likely to just not have that. If you were dating someone and only saw them once a month, it probably wouldn't move along very quickly. So there you go, back to the dating analogy. So after that, how do I get more followers? This is a question that we get a lot as well. So first of all, I would start by, once you set up your accounts, follow all the people that you know, follow past clients, and hopefully they follow you back. So that's the first step. Once you kind of get that baseline of following, and this is generally for Instagram and Facebook, you can do a variety of things. I would say the most popular and the most successful are doing like a free webinar or workshop or live Q&A. So if you say, posting it and then people will share it, sending out an email. If you partner with any other people on Instagram or organizations, ask them to promote your free webinar or workshop, and then people will follow you to get the more information. You can ask doing like a live cooking class if you're a nutritionist. Giveaways are also a really great way to get a ton of followers. So if you are a consulting business, giving away some of your time. So you could say, hey, I'm doing a giveaway for 1 hour of consulting. If you tag 3 friends and like this post, that's a great way to get more followers. Or tag 3 friends that you think this business could be useful to. Or if you have a product business, giving away a product in return for asking people to follow you and tag people in your posts is just huge, and it will do a lot for you. People love free stuff no matter what it is, and so it usually works really well. Another way is to do partnerships. So if you're a photographer and you want to get more followers, maybe tag other videographers or wedding venues or venues that you've worked with and ask them to share your post. So if you post about them, like, hey, I loved this shoot today, this was an awesome venue, tagging them, asking them to repost your post in their story. Another way to do it is to do guest posts or blogs. So if you know someone else who does something in your general industry, asking like, hey, could you post about this coming up, or do you want to partner on an event, or could I write a blog for your website, a guest blog, and then post about your social media following in there. So those are huge ways. And then the last way is look about others with a similar audience and share them in your story. So that helps, just connect them to you and you to them. So just making those partnerships and networking on social media is really important. And like I said, the free webinar, sharing that and asking people to like, hey, please share this, or tag people that you know that might want to attend this. And for your free webinar or live Q&A, I would recommend picking your top ask question, or, do something that people really want to know about and that people really want to know about. So no matter what business you're in, that can be really successful. Just gonna make sure, check the chat quick. Okay. So that's the bulk of the social media planning and content section. I did put a couple bonus things in here about LinkedIn and Pinterest, just to give you guys some more tips. So with LinkedIn, this is a never-ending networking event. LinkedIn is like personal and professional at the same time, so it's a really unique profile. And so first, I would just make sure, if you're going to do LinkedIn, it's kind of like Facebook, make sure you create a business profile. And then on your business profile, get those photos up there, your logo up there, and then create like a 30-second intro text on your profile of what you do. So it's kind of like, when you go into someone's LinkedIn profile, you can see their few sentence intro. That's the biggest thing people are going to read when they come to your page. So just make sure you have that really nailed down of who you are, what you do, and what value does it provide for them. And then spend a few minutes each day adding new people that you might know. So, clients, friends of clients, other products or people that buy other products or services similar to yours. Make sure you're following all your current clients and prospects. Post updates related to LinkedIn's today's news and views. So this is kind of like follow the trends that are happening on LinkedIn. And participate in discussions and groups. There's a ton of forums and discussions on LinkedIn. Make sure you are connecting and liking the people that you follow. It's kind of, again, just building that relationship. And then LinkedIn Premium helps you research profile views and see who's looking at your profile. So if you really again, a financial business where this is important for you, you can, I think paying for premium might be worth it to see if someone's looking at your profile to be able to follow up with them and reach out. So it's a great place to be if you have a professional business, and networking is really important for you. And then Pinterest. Pinterest is the secret selling tool. I think it's kind of like a hidden, or sometimes like a forgotten about gold mine. There's so much to Pinterest, but people on Pinterest are there to spend money. So if you have a Pinterest account now, you know that you're usually planning a purchase. Like if you're painting, like when I moved into my new house, I was painting and I went on Pinterest and got all this painting inspiration and pulled colors into my board and pulled different design inspiration and pulled different decorations. And it's because I was going to spend money on all of those things and I wanted to see it in real life. So it's just people on Pinterest are ready to spend money. So it's a great place to meet them where they're looking and, go from that nurture to convert pretty quick. If you think about that sales funnel. So it's perfect. It's great for everybody, but I would say it's great for nutritionists, health professionals, coaches. Like if you're a workout coach, posting, a little workout with pictures on Pinterest is huge. Food bloggers, again, recipes on Pinterest are massive. So if you have a website and you're posting recipes in your blog, I would also be posting them on Pinterest. Clothing and boutique and products, again, people are looking to spend money, and a lot of times, especially with clothing, people are pulling in, outfits and design and inspiration and following people. Another big thing is if you're not in like those specific businesses, I think it's still really valuable to create a board for your business and, have the how-tos, have the recipes, have design inspiration, depending on what your business is. It's a really awesome selling tool. So what I would recommend is getting set up with Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn if you need to, lock those down, and then invest some time learning about Pinterest. There's a lot of Pinterest courses out there. And another tip with Pinterest is if you really want to do all this stuff, but you just don't have the time and you're overwhelmed, you can hire virtual assistants on various places or we can connect you with one as well, just to do this stuff for you. Just doing the online creating those posts and getting them all put up there, because sometimes we understand it's like super overwhelming to create all those posts and even know what to do. It's just easier to have someone help you out. And so virtual assistants are a great way to get that stuff done. I have a question in here that says, we have an auto reconditioning accessory business and detailing. Do you see Pinterest being something that would be good with this type of business? Do men look at Pinterest? Yes, I would say the main target market for Pinterest is like women. It's kind of similar, like women 30 and up are the ones spending a lot of money on Pinterest, but men also do look at Pinterest. I should look up the stats on that. I can follow up and have Kayla follow up as well. But this is awesome too. You could post different ways that you like tips for doing your own car and then promote your business, or you could promote the different accessories that you have and kind of if you could get really nice photography of that accessory and detailing, like the before and after, or even just the beautiful finished product, I'm sure there would be a market for people pinning that to a certain board. So what I would do for you, Kim, is get a Oh, perfect. You do actually have a lot of women who are your customers. Yeah, so I think this would be a good place to test it out. If you already have Facebook and Instagram locked down, I would research on Pinterest, search, and if you see any other types of posts around detailing and reconditioning, and then kind of create similar ones. So look at the ones that are doing really well, that have a lot of likes and reposts, and see how that could apply to your business. Hopefully that helps. So in summary, the whole point of social media is to create and connect. So you want to go to your audience, you want to say something real, so use your content plan, use professional photos and videos. Custom photos are the biggest differentiators on social media, so just being unique to your brand and to your business. One thing I will say, I was supposed to say boosting posts, that I didn't mention earlier is if you have a little bit of budget to spend on Facebook or Instagram, depending on which one you're focusing on, I would, like, before and after pictures, if you're like roofing or siding or construction, or like, again, like Kim, your business with reconditioning and accessory detailing, before and after pictures are great pictures to post on your business page, and then spend a little bit of money behind it promoting that post. So Facebook will prompt you like, hey, this post is doing well, put $10 behind it to promote it. I would just set aside like, $50 a month to promote a post, and just put a money behind it. And what promoting a post does is it pushes that post to the top of people's feed in your network. So Facebook and Instagram have a lot of algorithms that only serve your post to people that might want to see them, but promoting that post pushes it beyond the algorithms and to people who might not normally see your posts. So I'd recommend doing that. I think it's a really easy, low budget way to get that awareness out there, like we talked about in the sales funnel. So you can do that on both Instagram and Facebook. You just have to link a credit card to your account and press promote. And then it will tell you how many people you've reached and how many engagements that you got. And you can usually reach like a couple thousand people with, $50 or $60. So I'd recommend experimenting with that. To create, another tip is to create like really beautiful posts, kind of like that steak one I showed you guys. Use Canva. Canva is a great free app where you can pull in pictures and kind of create your own little graphics. It's super easy to use, and I think you could probably find free trainings on it. And that helps you execute this 80-20 rule of like, for your posts, the 80-20 with the visual and the words, and then also another 80-20 rule is you want to be 80% connecting valuable information and 20% selling. So just remember, if you are talking about your products a lot, just to mix in some real content about you, about your business, about why you exist, and some fun personal updates as well. I think this is one of my last things here, but blog and email. So a lot of times we get the question, like, how do blog and email fit into social media? It's so much to think about with blog and email and social media. And you know what? The best part is all of these can work together. So when you're creating that content plan that we talked about earlier with your categories, those categories and content plans can also go for blog and email. So I would say if you could pick one of those things to turn into a blog once a month, that will add up for your SEO value so much faster than you think. So if you're going to post, if one of your social media posts is going to be, about, I don't know, how to budget for a vacation if you're a financial firm, you can also turn that into a blog post and just add a little bit more content. And then also you can email that same thing out to your email list saying, hey, we have a new blog post. Put a little bit of a summary of the blog post in your email, and then link them to your website where the blog post is. And then you can also post it on social media. So all of these things can work together, and they don't have to have separate plans. We do have an SEO course on creating posts that will help your business and your website get found online. So that could be really helpful at doing a little bit of keyword research on what people are searching for within your industry and how you can come up in those search results. So just keep that in mind if you're aware of some keywords, or some frequently asked questions is the best place to start for those keywords. But you know, start with those for your blog posts, and then just make sure you post them also in your social media plan. And just remember, with blogs and emails, it doesn't need to be a scholarly article. Like I said, just be aware of the curse of knowledge and tell people some valuable information and keep it short and sweet. Another tip I have on here is more posts is better, but realistic is best. So again, it would be awesome if you posted 3 blog posts a month, but if you can consistently do 1 a month for 12 months, that's so much better than taking a couple months off. And the last thing is just to make sure that your blog posts and your social media have a call to action. So just make sure, if you want them to come to your website, make sure you tell them and you give them a way to get there. If you want to buy a product or sign up for your workshop today, make sure that you have a way for them to get there. So whether that's linking to your email in your bio, or linking to your website in your bio, signing up for an email opt-in, signing up for a workshop, just make it super obvious for people what they need to do next if you want them to do something. And like I said, it doesn't always have to be selling, and it shouldn't always be selling, but when you are doing that 20% selling, just make sure you make it super easy for people to connect to what they're supposed to do next. Kim asked, I never thought of doing a blog. Is this something to attach to your website? Yes. So a blog, all websites, at least that we've done, have an opportunity to add a blog. And blogs are just, you know, content that you create for your website, and blogs rank really high for SEO value. So search engine value. It just helps bring more words to your website that people are looking for. So in general, how Google works is it's connecting people's searches to your website. So if someone is searching, you know, best car detailing place in Denver, if you have a blog that says, you know, best car detailing in Denver, it's going to connect those two things. So a blog is just a great way to connect people to what they're searching for, just bringing more content onto your website. Content is a super effective way to do marketing as a small business. So if you look on other websites, you'll see examples of blogs, and it's a great way. Whoever built your website, Kim, you could ask them, or if you built it yourself, just Google how to add a blog to it, and it's usually super easy. It's kind of like writing an email and then you post it to your website. So last but not least, sometimes what happens is we do trainings on all this stuff, and then people realize, you know what, I just don't want to do that. I don't have time. Or I just need help getting started. So we're here to help. Just so you know, Salt and Sage, we do this awesome social starter package where we'll do a little bit of SEO research for you to find keywords. We'll determine the best list of hashtags for you, because hashtags are a big way that people find new products and services. We'll build your content bank that we talked about based on that research. We'll help you plan your first month of posts with the caption assistance. So we'll just kind of help you with the writing, because I know sometimes that can be overwhelming. We'll overview some of the scheduling tools and figure out if one of them is a good idea for you. We'll make a list of recommended blog posts. We'll do a little bit of a training on how to do a giveaway. And then our favorite customer thing is we give people access to that Monday.com project management board. So this helps people just kind of do the dragging and dropping and assigning, and really easy way to organize your social media. So just keep that in mind if you guys need help, but otherwise I think this should give you all the tools that you need to get started, and hopefully this was